watch fam, it has been a quick minute since my last video done, probably 4 weeks ago I think. I came down sick and I've been coughing ever since then, and I'm barely getting back into the men's, and I'm much better now. Still got a little cough, but I still wanted to get back and put out some videos again because I am really behind. So thanks for joining Watch Takes on Watches with Oliver. For today's episode, we are going to talk about the Caravelle Electrotime. So if many of you guys know, this is the transistorized movement from Caravelle that was done in the late 70s to the 80s. And this particular watch seemed to be sitting for a really long time because the color of the box kind of got darker by the sun, it looks like, and so did the date wheel. So here it is, right here, the Caravelle Electrotime, and it came in this nice box, ivory colored box, and you could tell it's been yellowed right here, but this is the original color. And when you flip it, it shows the watch, and this is one of my Caravelle Electrotimes. This is basically a new old stock. It looks like it was sitting for a while, and as you can tell, the date wheel is also the same color as the box itself. So we'll go ahead and do a quick dive, take a look at it, and open it up, see what's inside. And it's really, cool to see Caravelle Electrotime that was still in the box like this. That's really never been worn, so I'm happy to be the first owner of it. And I do have another one that was also new in the box that still had the receipt and in a similar box like this. But let's go ahead and take a look at it, because there are some really nice details in this watch that don't appear in other watches, but yet it is in this one. And as you know, Caravelle is basically the sub-brand of Bulova, so it's still instilled quality but at a lower price. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Alright guys, so here is my Caravelle Electrotime by Bulova watch. Here it is in the standard boxing. As you can see, it says right there, Caravelle Electrotime by Bulova, on this fake wood engraving or wood covering right here. And as you can see, the watch sat in a display probably facing the sun for a really long time, because you could see the differences in the color of the original and the colored part where it got tan. And if we go ahead and flip it open, here is the watch in its entirety right here. So it comes in this display box. It is pretty much, I could say, new old stock. It looks like it had been sitting for a while, but it is a really nice watch, as you can see. Here it is in this integrated bracelet. It has this polished finished here, which is pretty neat, and you can see the radial brushing on the case right here as well. Looks like these inside of the links are polished, but the rest of it is brushed. And it is a set-o-matic version, so you could easily set the date and time by, the date and day by just pulling the crown out once and moving the crown clockwise to adjust the day. As you can see, the date moves as well, so it's best to set the day first and then wind it back, move the crown counterclockwise to set the date, as you can see here. So take a look at that date wheel. It looks like it had been sitting on the 1st of Sunday when it was sitting in front of the sun, because look at that, it is totally tan, which matches the box colors you can see here. The clasp is signed Bulova, so back in the day a lot of Caravelle watches did have the Bulova signatures on them, one being the clasp and sometimes also on the crown as well, but this one is only on the clasp right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in so we could see more details, because there's some good stuff that's on the dial right here. So here it is a little bit zoomed in, and you could see on the dial there's like this waffle texture pattern on it, which is really cool. You don't necessarily see that kind of detail level in the dial at this price point. I'm not sure if any other Bulova watches had it, but this Caravelle Electrotime is the only one that I've seen really with the waffle dial. There might be others running around, but this one I have mainly seen more than on one occasion. And as you can see, there's some nice brush finishing right there on the case. It's pretty much a new old stock, as you can see. Acrylic crystal. The lugs measure 20 millimeter lugs, and it tapers down just a little bit to probably 18 millimeters down to the clasp right there. The bracelet also has this nice brushed finishing, as you can see right there. It fits really comfortably. The bracelet is thin and light, so it hugs the wrist really comfortably. One cool thing about this watch, it has that integrated bracelet look that's coming back now. It seemed like the Tissot PRX started it, and other manufacturers are starting it as well, to have that integrated sport watch look of the 80s, the 70s and 80s. And that's when this trend, was kind of popular, with having the integrated bracelet design. The Tissot PRX, as you know, some APs, Audemars Piguets have that integrated sport bracelet look. The Nautilus, so there are quite a few manufacturers that have it, and it seems to be coming back now, which is pretty cool. What once was old is new again, as you can see, so that is pretty cool to see. This watch though had it in the late 70s, early 80s. It is a transistorized watch, so it's battery powered, but it's a hybrid, so it does have a balance wheel. It needs servicing every probably 5 years or so, or battery replacement probably usually like every year. But it runs really well. It's really accurate and keeps the date, the day, and the time just fine. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at the movement. So here's the case back. It has Caravelle base metal bezel, stainless steel back, water resistant. So the case is chrome plated, but the back is stainless steel. As you can see, it says N9, so it is dated 1979. So we are going to open it up here, and there it is, the movement. The case number, if anybody wants to know, is Q510, I believe. I'm sorry, Q150. So that is the case number, and there it is. So this is the Caravelle 13 UK OB movement, but it's also based on the ESA 9158 movement. So it beats at 28,800 BPH, but actually ticks, or the second hand moves at 14,400. And you might ask, why is that? Because there is no pallet fork, so it doesn't double the amount that the balance wheel is moving at. It's ticking at 28,800, but there's a little magnet in the movement that only moves the escape wheel forward, and it only moves it forward once instead of twice with a pallet fork, and so hence why it only moves at 14,400. And so even though it beats at 28,800, as you can see, the tick of the second hand isn't really as smooth as a 28,800 BPH watch. See, so you could take a look at that. But nevertheless, it is a pretty reliable movement, a robust movement. It does need servicing. It has 7 joules on it. The batteries are fairly easily replaceable and easy to get. So they typically last a year, maybe a bit less if you don't service them. They keep pretty accurate time. There's some models out there that are chronometer status, but this one is not, but it can be chronometer grade accurate. But this one, like I said, is not. So it is a hybrid of a battery and a coil and transistor and a balance wheel. So pretty straightforward stuff. If you don't know what a transistorized movement is, I do have an episode on that in my YouTube channel, so go ahead and check it out. So here it is on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. It fits really comfortably. It's a thin bracelet, so it hugs the wrist really nicely. It's very solid, very comfortable. The clasp is thin, and it's a nice just flip lock clasp, so it clicks into place like so. But here it is on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. So it's pretty comfortable, as you can see here, and it's a nice design, and the light reflects off the bracelet really nicely, offering a nice sheen in the daylight, but not offering that mirror-like finish, but instead that brushed finish. So it's kind of like a sporty feel on your wrist. So here it is on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. Alright guys, so that completes my video of my Caravelle Electrotime Set-O-Matic. Thanks very much for watching and joining my channel. If you liked my video, please go ahead and give a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.